Okay,
You guys.
I just have some prepared remarks here. At the past two reunions, we've had visitors from other 1st Cav Division units who attended to express their appreciation to 15th Med Battalion for life-saving medevac rescue and treatment at 15th Med Battalion facilities. This year, we're turning the tables and expressing our gratitude as 15th Med Battalions to individuals from other units who have provided life-saving services to our personnel. First of all, Sergeant First Class Louis Richard Rocco. He was then a medical advisor of a MACV advisory team stationed at Katoom in northern Tay Ninh province along the Cambodian border. He was hitching a ride back to his base at Katoom on Medevac 2 on 24 May 1970. The aircraft commander was First Lieutenant Steve Monte. The co-pilot was First Lieutenant Lee Kubero. Crew chief was Spec 4 Pat Martin. The medic was Spec 5 Terry Burdett. And the door gunner was Spec 4 Gary Taylor. In flight, Medevac 2 received a emergency call to pick up wounded. They landed at Katoom to drop off supplies. Instead of getting off the aircraft there, Richard Rocco offered to ride along on the mission to lend his assistance as a highly experienced medic. And his offer was gratefully accepted. As Medevac 2 was landing, Steve Monte was shot in the leg, and the aircraft crashed, caught fire. Although seriously wounded himself, Richard Rocco dragged Lee Kubero, Steve Monte, and Terry Burdett away from the burning aircraft, saving them all from certain death. Pat Martin, the crew chief, was thrown clear, and he did receive some back and shoulder wounds. And sadly, Gary Taylor could not be rescued from the burning aircraft. The story continues, and it's quite a story. The story continues with several, possibly as many as 9 Medevac crews attempting rescue of Medevac 2 until a day after the crash, and I won't go into all those details. In fact, I don't know if anybody knows all those details of those missions, and on day 2 after the crash, the crew of Medevac 2 was picked up and taken to treatment. The incident has come to be known as Medevac Meadows, and the assistance of Cobra gunships from Sea Battery, 2nd to the 20th Aerial Rocket Artillery Battalion, better known as Blue Max, were of vital importance during those 2 days of the incident. Well, after returning home from Vietnam, Lee Kubero resolved that Richard Rocco should receive the Medal of Honor for his actions that day. And Lee undertook that effort, which was about a 3 to 4 year effort to get that Medal of Honor awarded to Mr. Richard Rocco. And in 1974, he was awarded the Medal of Honor. He retired, as you know, the nation's highest valor award. He retired at the rank of CW2, sadly died in 2002. And Theresa, his daughter, is here tonight. She was hoping her mother, Carol, who was Richard's wife during the time he was in Vietnam and the time that Lee was working on getting the Medal of Honor. But she was ill and couldn't quite make it. I will let her introduce a guest who is Duane Jackson, who was a friend of her father's, also a veteran, and we'll do that. I did want to mention that that Lee Kubero and Pat Martin are the only surviving members of that crew at this time. And Pat Martin had a death. He was planning to be here, but he had a death in the family a few days ago and could not make it. Theresa, would you like to introduce Duane and kind of give a background on him? Or?
Sure.
Hold the mic close.
First, I'd like to say thank you for your service and your sacrifice, and I really appreciate you taking the time to honor my father. We're very proud of him, and we love and miss him very much. Mr. Duane Jackson served with him in Fort Campbell, Kentucky. I was about 9 at the time, and we ended up meeting each other roughly 15 years ago as adults now, and him and his wife have been really good friends for my family ever since.
I'm the Uber driver today.
He's my Uber driver today. You want to talk about your career?
Yeah, I'll talk a little bit.
I may recognize some of you. We all change over the years. I was Medical Service Corps. I spent 23 years in the service. I had tours in my 1 year in Vietnam. I got in the Army out of ROTC, turned down an ROTC scholarship because I didn't want a 4-year commitment. Wound up staying 23, that's the way it goes. Had my year in Vietnam. I thought I was going to slide by and avoid Vietnam, but they got me. And then I went back to Fort Campbell, Kentucky. I'm not an aviator, by the way. I'm not a Ranger, I'm not airborne, I'm not scared of heights, so took care of all of that. So at Fort Campbell, they'd say airborne, I'd say chairborne. Went back to Fort Campbell, didn't really want to go there, did everything I could to get out of it. Well, that's where I met my wife. So after that, we spent some time in Germany and Italy. Came back to Fort Campbell, or Fort Detrick for 5 years, and then back to the Baylor program to Fort Campbell. Then back to Saudi Arabia for 3 years, and we just went back to Germany. I saw Germany from Desert Shield, Desert Storm perspective. Very interesting. I had a great time. I love helicopter pilots. They gave me free trips in Vietnam here and there when I needed it. Only got shot at once that I know of. They took it rather calmly. I was crawling up in a fetal position in the back. But I'm glad to be here. Theresa's been a great friend. I knew her dad. Really liked him. And hated to see him when I found out he passed away. And the only reason I knew that Theresa, where we worked together, had a picture of her father receiving the Medal of Honor. I said, I know him. And she said, that's me as a young lady, young girl. So it's good to be here. I hope I'll get a chance to meet some of you. If somebody recognizes this little crook guy's face, come up and shake my hand. Memory's not quite so as good as it used to be. And I think you'll say amen to that. Turn back over.
Thank you. Okay, thank you very much. Now I want to turn the mic over to Monte Halcomb, who...
Microphone, please.
Right.
Hold it parallel to the floor in front of your mouth and you can get it over better.
Monte was, he was there. And I guess we've already introduced the 3 Blue Max pilots, and but he'll probably want to give you a little bit more history. I don't have much detailed history on this. And at that time, if someone has we have some time here before dinner, so if someone has a question or something, we can accommodate that, or comment about their experience with Blue Max. So,
I'll hold the mic up.
Thank you. Hold it parallel to the floor, this way, in front of your mouth. And they
You hold the mic any way you want. And Jim has already introduced the 3 Blue Max pilots that are with us. And they're sitting right here. If you really want to know what happened from a Blue Max perspective, please get with these gentlemen. And what they said was that anyone who asks them questions, they will buy you a round of drinks. And if you believe that, that's about as likely as Greg Simpson buying a round of drinks.
Thank you, Bonnie. Theresa, we as the organization have decided to honor you. You are now an honorary member of the 15th Medical Battalion. And I'm sorry. You know, the older I get, the more sissified I become. Anyway, thank you very much. And here's a challenge coin for you. And you are now a lifetime member. Thank you. Thank you. I think now